Okay. Hi, my name is Jay, and these are my real hands. Hello and welcome. It's come to that time in every artist's life where you really have to sit back, get really vulnerable, and embarrass yourself by showing your old artwork to your audience. Nothing can be done about it. These are the oldest sketchbooks that I have present with me in my apartment, and it's gonna take us on the journeys through 2020 to 2023. I think it's fun to look back on old stuff like this and really just revisit where my brain was in past years of my life and how we've gotten to here, a YouTuber that is kind of okay at art. So let's get right into it. This was the last sketchbook I had before I switched to the ELO sketchbooks. These are what I use now. They're great. This one might look familiar to a couple of you if you've watched my very old sketchbook tour. Little sneak peek. They're basically square, they have smoother pages, and they're a lot nicer. But they're also a little bit pricey. So before that, I would go to my local Walmart and I would get a cheap little sketchbook. I'm currently on sketchbook 11. This is what I'm working through right now, so sketchbook tour soon. Even as a digital artist, I do love a sketchbook from time to time. But today we're going over sketchbook 8 and sketchbook 9. And we're starting with sketchbook 9 because this thing took me to a lot of different places in my brain, alright? I was a big fan of just a black cover with a bunch of stickers. I have these stickers on the back. No real meaning, I just love stickers and I pick them up random places. Clearly, this is what my room used to look like when I was in denial about my asexuality and rotting away in this bed all the time. You can see my iPad right there when I was a Procreate artist. But let's get into this. Let's stop stalling. Here's our first page. Oh, here's the first page. First issue that we're gonna have with these old sketchbooks is this. Lots of... I don't know really what this paper is for. I guess if you want to analyze this, but like don't believe that. Lots of smearing with my lead happening. So just try to ignore that, okay? This is the very first page. This is actually Shoya, believe it or not, very early version of his design. And I started this on August 17th, 2021, and I kept it for a little less than a year. It's actually a running theme that Shoya is the opening page on most of my sketchbooks now, so this is nice. Starting off strong, we have a very old rendition of what my little persona guy used to look like. Same idea overall, but this was a very early sketch. I think this was the first time I ever really drew it, so that's nice. Also, a very old sketch of Shoyo when he was in he went through an arc of this soft boy era. I'm not 100% sure what it was, but it was a thing, okay? I used to, the lead spreading used to be so bad that I would put little pieces of paper to separate them. But we have more Shoya. A lot of cutouts from things that I would do in my math class in the early morning because I wasn't doing math, obviously. What do I look like? A little Christmas Shoya sketch. He loves to garden, so some mistletoe. I was just thinking about it. I really liked drawing this tree. This broken mug that I have has this tree on it, and I put it on a lot of my old sweaters that I would draw or things of that nature. This is a really old sketch. I have another little set of characters that I don't really talk about. They're not a part of the comic. It's this other random thing that's in my brain. But this is Alex. He's one of the characters from it, and I used to draw him a lot. The typical Demon Boy OC. So him in some glasses, obviously. Oh, we have some very early sketches of Ima. Just a mess. Just used to be a mess, really. She did have this hat on a lot. Not sure what it was. I drew her with straightened hair once, and I did not like it in the slightest. This is Uncanny Valley to me. But really early Ima, she has her scars. She has the long, sort of flowy hair. Same idea, obviously, but this is what she looked like before her redesign. Crazy. Okay, so I was in a really bad art block. All of these sketches were when I was enrolled in a high school, not coping in the slightest. I think I was a freshman. 2021, yeah, I think I was a freshman. That is crazy. Was not coping, was not vibing. So there's a lot of pictures of myself where I was just pissed, just angst. Let your pessimism win? What are we on about, girl? But then we get some really cute sketches of early on Leokai. There's a lot of Leokai in here. He may or may not be my favorite OC, but we don't have to talk about it. I'm getting lead on my fingers from how bad this paper is. Not a banger. Or am I crazy? Guys? Okay, this is a sneak of a character you guys haven't met yet. She looks different every single time I draw her, and that's why you haven't met her yet, but her name used to be Piper. It's Pepper now. But yeah, little Dying Rain character sneak. Guys, pretend you didn't see this. And a little younger Leokai drawing. Very angst, obviously. I think you're getting a vibe of where my brain was at during a lot of this. This was deep into the All for the Game era, drawing lots of Andrew Minyard, lots of things like this. Aaron Minyard. Love All for the Game. If you don't know what that is, book series, awful. Awful and horrible, and it ruined my life. This was a video where I designed an emo boy, but I gave up on it really fast. If you look at my channel, it looks like I've been making videos consistently for like 6 months. Not true. I have been trying to make videos for years, but I only ever ended up with speed paints because I couldn't afford the equipment. But I was on that grind set, and now we're here. But yeah, video that did not get made, but cool character design process anyway. This is that character Alex again, playing around with a couple of demon-esque features. This ass hand. Hey, so what is that? The summer before my sophomore year, that is crazy. The summer I turned angsty, holy These are some very old random shoujo drawings. I was very proud of this side profile. This was before I could draw them in any sort of consistent sort of way, so I did really like how this turned out. Shoujo with this little cat I thought about him having. Random shoujos. This is Ivan, another character that I have that's a part of the other random story in my brain. I have no really big plans for them, but I do love my little cast of characters here. I was in a lot of art classes when I was in high school, and this is where most of these sketches came from. We had to be drawing when we were in there. She didn't like if we were just sitting there not doing anything. If we weren't gonna be doing anything or doing the work, we had to at least have a pencil in our hand, which really good on her. But while I was in there, one day I came up with this little zombie girl because I like creepy, cute things. What can I say? And then this is just a random character design I drew on this really like sticky note, and I was like, I want to draw it again, but a little bit better, so I drew this. I had a very like Tumblr core, simple, like cuter art style back then. Big eyes, you know the drill. You all know what to expect from me at this point. Had to skip over a couple of pages because I was just straight up writing notes and doxing myself. So this baby Leokai that I love so much, these were once again me and my notebook taping them in. Those two characters again. This is Neil. I guess not again. Another character added, Neil. They have their own storyline, has nothing to do with Dying Rain, but here's Leokai. And some... Oh, this is Alex and Ivan. This is the full legal name of my PC. This was when I first got my PC, the same one I have now. So that is Oliver Roosevelt Andrew Maxwell Fitzwilliam. What the does that say? Fitzgerald. Okay, that's the name of my PC in case you were wondering. And then I doxed myself at the end of it, so don't mind that. This was me playing around with some pastels in class. They were just out there and I wanted to use them. The blush, I think, looks fine, like over here. Other than that, mixed media isn't really my thing. These are some random things. We had an assignment in class where we had to make Christmas cards for people with watercolors, so I did a couple of those. This is like a random bug girl, Katie. Like Katie did, I think, was where my head was at. I have no idea, but she's there. Banger. I'm pretty sure this was supposed to be a drawing of Wayne, like that random Amazon show. I was really into that for like a month, so I think I drew him. I wanted to draw a rabbit girl, and then I didn't like how it turned out, so I guess I scrapped that. This is very early Oliver. Obviously inspired by a lot of anime, had to put him in a dress. And this is where Oliver hating being compared to a werewolf because he's a werefox came from. I had this idea, like, don't piss him off for real. But yeah, early Oliver, he hasn't changed much. Still has an updo, still has some freckles. I've liked his design ever since I drew him. So more early Oliver. This was his first. I always had an idea of him having a tattoo, but obviously this changed in his redesign. But a lot of these notes that I sprawled out aren't going to make sense to you guys. But hey, look, Velvet Lights sneak. I've been plotting and scheming on this. This was what, 2022? Long time in the making. Dying Rain has years of lore. And then obviously Oliver in a dress, because I love an androgynous character. This is a random Mangle drawing. I don't know. Well, I was getting back into FNAF this year, I guess. I guess it's never left, honestly and truly. And then this was me planning out some stickers I was gonna put on my shelf, not sure. This page was also in class. I wanted to try practicing some like trees and more nature, so I drew a couple of sketches from those, and then it obviously turned into a character because that's what I like to draw. So we have this weird, creepy, haunted deer girl. Dunno. Cutting it up though. Cutting serving. Oh. This is my character Ivan as like a kid design because I wanted to picture what they'd look like if they were younger. Look at Leah Kai, bro. Guys. Okay, now this was an era. I'm not a fan of My Hero Academia per se, but I did have an era of really liking the crack ship between Bakugo and Shinso, I think is his name. So this is where all of these sketches came from. I hyperfixate on something and then we get stuff like this because of it. So, cool sketches. Coming back to this idea. Guess what never happened? Another Andrew Minyard. I'm pretty sure this was inspired by something I saw on Tumblr. I used to draw Shoya with a lot of flowers like blooming from him, like that disease, that like fake disease. Cool concept in my mind. Not really a thing that's present anymore, but I did like how this turned out, and I always had to put some quote next to him. No, I'd come back to this sketch because I like it. This is the first time, or one of the first times, that I ever drew Neil Jostin, also from All for the Game, that book series. I was stuck at my school after school because I was in stage crew, and my stage crew teacher, he was like, you guys have to get there right after school. We're gonna be working. And we're like, okay. We get there, and he's like, so actually, I don't really have anything for you guys until 5. So that gave us like 3 hours of just sitting there, and that's where this picture was spawned from. I was up in the little like control panel with that controlled all the sound, the soundboard actually, and I was like, this is a perfect time to draw Neil Jostin. And I actually think, yeah, some random cat sketches and we made it. I was so ready to finish this that I didn't even draw. I just said we made it. Did we? And that was sketchbook 9. I don't think it's a crazy take to say that this sketchbook was made in probably one of my worst eras. While I don't like looking back on everything, I do think keeping it and looking at it is a sentiment to how far I have grown as a person and as a whole. So I did actually enjoy that experience a lot. Not just like as an artist, because obviously I have grown a lot since then, like style-wise and everything, but I think it's also nice to look back on different eras that you had as an artist and really appreciate them. Now, let's have even more fun. Now, I purposely started with kind of an easy one. This sketchbook, I don't know what we're gonna find. I really truly don't. Because I don't think some of the sketches in here were bad. This, I'm actually kind of scared. So let's see, which, if this doesn't tell us everything we need to know, let's just get into this thing. Oh, yeah, this is gonna be heat. 1 year of progress though. Started this in July 8th, 2020, ended August 16th, 2021. So we do get to look at how I went from this to the end. And this is like kind of a bigger one. So this paper is even worse. I don't know what I was doing, honestly. Starting off with this, yeah, I was drawing E-boys. This is crazy. I think this is the sketchbook I had, 1, during the pandemic, and 2, when I very first started posting my art online. I started posting in 2020. I just skipped through a lot of pages because it was me ranting, but this is a scrapped character. We can live on in his memory. His name is August. I had a knack of drawing werewolves, obviously, as if I still don't. Okay. This was me drawing myself in this era, I had big frizzy hair that was dyed maroon, like on the underneath part of it. So, and then I definitely used a reference for these, but this is my cat Rose, my like little childhood guy. This is that character, like the demon character. Yeah, before he was demonized by me and made to be awesome and cool and based. But once again, that disease is back. I don't know what my problem was, genuinely. I wrote so many things. There's like, this is barely any drawing, but also another scrapped character. I just liked making them at this era. It wasn't anything like substantial. This is like the birth of Dying Rain in this sketchbook. So lots of scrapped characters, lots of scrapped ideas, but it's kind of fun to see where it all started. I think this was the first time, this is awful, but this is the first time I ever drew Oliver with his like longer hair. Yeah, Ollie now has long hair. I don't make the rules. You actually do. So girl, you actually do, but it is nice that you're talking to us in this way. Oh my god. Guys, you are about to see the very first drawing of Shoya that's ever existed. Oh, Bramble. Hi. I don't know if the mic's picking her up, but we have a friend. Anyways. Dude. Covering the name, that's literally a spoiler, but anyways. This is the first drawing of Shoya ever. Angsty when he came out the womb being my pencil. Angsty then, angsty now. What can I say? Hey, we've come a long way. Give me a comparison up on the screen, editing Jay. This is where it all began. Genuinely. Alright, we've made it into the trenches. The first ever Liakai and Shoya, like, official drawings. We had some dialogue, but I crossed it out because I guess I must have cringed myself out even then when I was using the term BOI unironically. Very early Shoya, his thing used to be that he was super nervous. Like, he was, like, shy. He's not shy anymore, he's just kind of inept. So. But there's very early Liakai. He has not changed much. These are his dog tags. I've had a very clear vision of this character ever since now, and he hasn't really changed that much other than, like, art style-wise, but yeah. Our very own Navi Liakai, there we go. Oh my gosh, okay. Guys, we've made it to the first drawing of Ima. My character, Ima, that we all know and love at this point, which is crazy to me that we have gotten this far to the point that people, like, know these. Okay, whatever. I still reel over that. The very first drawing that turned her into an actual character, this random one-off sketch. This was nothing. I drew this in school at my math class. I was like, I want big hair. Cool. Add some more. Yeah, cool. And I taped it in here. Little did I know who this character was gonna end up being. That's crazy. Anyways, we have a Bakugo. We have a Shoya. We have a, I don't know who that is, actually. But we have an Ima. Very early. First ever drawing of Ima. First Ima sighting ever. 2021, I think. This might still be 2020. I'm not sure. Mind you, I'm 14. Wait. Liakai is my oldest character, but he was like a head OC, and I kept him in my head, and I was like creating a story around him in my head. So he's like really the root of Dying Rain. I think I started drawing them when I was like 14, which I think was this era. I think. That part of my life is blurry because, you know, we're all just traumatized in living. Anyways, I drew Ima again over here with darker hair. Some more Liakai sketches. We were having a blast. Some angst for the TL. Some angst for the TL, and it's this. I'm sick of myself. Oh my god. These are some random pen sketches. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, this is my grandma's dog. As a human. Shout out to Coda, my grandma's dog. That's so funny. Okay. Okay. Very early Oliver sketch. Some other scrapped character. I don't even remember her storyline because it was so long ago. But hey queen. I fuck with your baby bang. Me and the sticky note are best friends because I was kind of writing some crazy things in here. First ever drawing of Zach Foster. Oh no, this was still 2020. I was 13 here. Okay, yeah, cool. I was still 13, 14 here. Okay, cool. Glad we got a reference. My favorite anime ever is Angels of Death. That's what this character is from. So I think I've already shared that lore. I think I drew like my favorite anime characters in a video once. Banger. Go watch. Oh, I fear we hit a gold mine. Yeah. 2020 rendition of Springtrap. Springtrap is my favorite Five Nights at Freddy's character. Actually, hey, thought his design was so cool ever since I got into the game. And I think I think I posted this on Instagram. Do not scroll down far enough to see this. Oh my god. I hadn't drawn him in a long time, so oh my god, dude. I was just out there. I was out there 13 years old, just posting on the internet. Just like, that's crazy. Anyways, Dying Rain spoilers. Early drawing of Shoya and his flowers back when he was capable of smiling. Anyways, these are very early sketches of Ima back when she was just kind of that clown-inspired, like, fun character design, and her scar was more like patches. I don't know. I was and still am a creepypasta kid, clearly. I think we've all used this, like, holding knife reference for our characters at some point. And then a 2020 version of Oliver. He hasn't changed, honestly. Even more early Ima sketches. Look at her. This is so fun to look back on. It's making me realize how long I really have had these characters. We're still in 2020. That is crazy. Oh my god. But yeah, I think I just wanted to draw like this outfit, like stuff I was seeing on Pinterest, and I really liked drawing Ima at the time, as if I don't now, but back then I really liked drawing her. So I have to cover up some notes from my friends, but this is a character I go back and forth on. Dying Rain has a lot of side characters. You guys are really just scratching the surface here, but my brain hasn't really caught up yet. Hey, look at him. Another one of my werewolf boy OCs, which, like, who's surprised? Who's surprised? I really don't know what my problem is, to be so honest. There's more of them. Gay. I mean, what? I was 14, surely. 13, 14. Here's some random pen sketches. I think this was, like, a girl I saw on Pinterest. I was really into these characters for a minute, and they could be completely scrapped, which is so funny, but more Dying Rain characters. You guys this is like the actual ins and outs. I do think I was 14 here. Wait, okay, hold on. I was convinced this was the first ever picture of my, like, persona, but I guess not, because this is it. That's literally me. That is crazy. I completely forgot how long I've had that thing, but yeah. There I am, the horned beast that you see in the intros of my videos. There it is. Jay knew who they were from a very young age. Whatever the quote is. Oh, Long Dark sketches. The Long Dark is my favorite game. It's basically a survival game. You're in Canada in some storm or after some storm and you're trying to survive. And yeah, this is what I pictured my little character looking like when I play. Whenever I'm in an art block, I think a good thing to get myself out of it is like inserting my ideas into other things that I like. So this was one of them. I just wanted to make a little Long Dark character. This was fun. I used to have so much fun. I still have fun drawing, but there's definitely a difference now than when I was literally 14 and nothing mattered and I was just drawing to feel better or to take my time up with something. And it was really the one thing that I could fully focus on, and so we get fun things like this. While these videos are really fun to do, and it's like, you get to laugh at your old self and like, whatever cringy stuff you were drawing as a preteen, very early teenager, a child, I can look at it as an adult now, and it's fun and all that, but it's also like healing. In a way, it shows me that there's real progress being made, not only from like an artistic point of view, but like a mindset point of view. I can remember where my head was at when I was drawing most of these things, and I can think about where my head is at now. And I think, you know, creator or not, like obviously I'm making this a video, but I think it's a good practice anyway to look back at old art. Not so much in a, oh, I used to be so bad type of way, but no, I put in the work to get better. I liked something and I worked towards a goal. And I just think that's a really good reminder whenever you're kind of maybe second guessing how your art looks or things like that. Just why I keep all of my old art up, because yeah, some of it is bad and some of it is cringe. So what? Hey, so what? Look at my stuff now. Look at how far we've come. Anyways, whenever I poke fun at my younger self in like old art in a video, I always need to say that because I had fun drawing this at the time. Is it technically, like, art-wise the best? No, but that never matters. And I think it's an important thing to say when I'm making videos like this. I don't know. Random tangent. Let's keep going. More Ima and then a random pen sketch. I tried to get myself to like drawing with pen so hard here. I don't know. I think I was watching other YouTubers who were really good at drawing with pens, and I was like, seems fun, seems cool, I should try it, but I didn't like it. So they always look a little sketchy and rushed because I was like, this kind of sucks. So drawing with pens is not my thing. Even to this day, I don't think I have one like pen sketch in my sketchbook now. But hey, it was good that I tried to branch out, and there's some random Imas for you guys. This is a random character that I kind of just draw for fun. I wanted to use watercolors because I do like watercolors. It's like calming to me, but I just wanted to draw him. Does not look like this anymore. I will put like a recent picture of him up on the screen. Doesn't have a story or anything. It's just kind of like a, hey, I want to draw and I don't really want to think about what I'm drawing, and so I just draw this character instead. Okay. I used to be a Genshin Impact player. I know. Dude, I know. Okay, I'm sorry. But it was fun. I was like 14. I liked the character design at least, and it was just a game where I could just like kind of play and not think. So I drew one of like the main characters you can play as. And then I was a Star Stable kid, and I revisit the game every now and then, like kind of a yearly thing. And so I drew my horse and my little Star Stable character. So this I specifically remember drawing at my grandparents' house. I don't know if I was living with them yet. I was a grandparents' house kid. I don't know if you could tell. But yeah, I liked how this turned out then, and even now I'm like, yeah, cute. Cute and stylized. I think it's up on my Instagram. Oliver, my beloved. This was my era of calling everything my beloved. I don't know if everyone was on the same wavelength as me. I didn't talk to people, but hey, very early Oliver sketched. I loved drawing him. I still do. I don't know what it is about him. I think we're getting to the era, like especially this drawing, I think we're getting to the era where I took a big break from drawing, because this is like a jump into 2021. So my style looks a little bit different. I think I was doing a lot of like digital art on my iPad and then using my sketchbook less, because back in this era, I did not have an iPad yet. So, Shoya and Liakai from the vault, the actual vault of 2021, and another Shoya over here, which I'm ranting about something. I don't know. Early character notes here, but whatever. Bramble. I hear her crying. Hold on. Bramble does this thing where she gets lost in the home. So she'll be like in the kitchen screaming, and I have to be like, Bramble, come here. And she remembers like where she is all of a sudden. Or else she'll just sit there and scream at me to come and get her. I don't know what her issue is. Whoa. I mean, when I knock the camera over, cool. Now we're getting into the process where Dying Rain is becoming real. 2021-ish. They're not just characters anymore. I gave them an actual storyline. This is gonna look familiar in a couple months. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. And me also trying to draw with pen again, and I don't know why. And then character birthdays? I don't know if these changed or not. Actually, if I stuck to these, that's kind of cool. I do know that Liakai is a Scorpio. I think, yeah, these might be their birthdays. I stuck with that a long time. That's crazy. Okay. These are some random thumbnails of digital drawings. I don't know if they ever became a thing. And then another random zombie. Never gave that up. And then this is I think this is me. Looks like me. Looks like it could potentially be me. If you're in art block, draw yourself. That's where most of the like drawings of my persona came from. Over here, I don't know. Yeah. Nah. I'm keeping secrets. Sorry. I was at the airport. I remember this specifically. I was at the airport. I was going to visit family, and I was having the worst time. I was so tired. So I drew Liakai being just as tired as I was. And I think he's wearing the outfit I had on. So this is Airport Liakai and a Shoya. Shoya sneak. All of this was scrapped, but this is the last page. And this is another random character I had. Also, this is a book cover idea from that other storyline that I keep using to hide things. So don't mind him. Ivan is just gonna kind of look over us here. But yeah, this was the last page, and you can definitely, let's compare. Let's compare the first page of this sketchbook to one of the last. Big art style jumps, I think, and it directly leads into the next sketchbook that I got shortly after. So, we have successfully looked back on the past of the comic, my old art, things that I used to be into, things that I used to draw, whatever you want to call it. This was fun. I suggest anybody doing this, whether you film it or not. It was definitely like a pick-me-up that I needed. I needed a reminder that I have worked hard to get to where I am. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Bramble is doing our outro today. Maybe. If you sit still, I'm gonna Hassan Piker you. Thank you guys so much for watching if you did. I had a really fun time going on this memory lane journey with you. Drink some water if you have in this entire video, and I will see you next time. Bye!